Tonight, a snake scandal in Florida.
Absolutely, the FWC screwed up here.
I can't watch it. Those animals mean a lot to me. It's like watching someone kill my kid.
They also killed a beloved pet, a Boa Constrictor, which also happened to be pregnant.
Yes. Oh my God, why?
We warn you, the video is setting.
Hey guys, it's been about a week and a half since my last video about the slaughter of 35 snakes down in Florida, and there's been a few updates since I put that last video out, so I just wanted to talk about it, inform all of you, and make sure this thing doesn't get swept under the rug or die down. Looking to hope we make some real change to the laws down in Florida potentially, namely to where it would be illegal for any officer of the state to come into your home or your facility and kill your animals. In the case of this, where these officers can't seem to identify a python from a boa, I would like to see it where the state came and took the animals and housed them humanely and waited until somebody who is capable of identifying a species then made the decision on whether they were to be euthanized or not. But anyways, let's get on with the items I got as far as updates. So something I was thinking about since the last video was, so all these animals, the Burmese pythons and the reticulated pythons, which reticulated pythons are not invasive down in Florida, which is a lie that's out there being reported by some of these mainstream media sources. They are not a invasive species in Florida, reticulated pythons. Burmese pythons are, but not reticulated. Anyways, these animals were microchipped, from what I understand. Chris Coffey had them microchipped. By law, he had to do that to receive a permit prior to these animals being banned, and to be able to be potentially grandfathered in, they would have had to have been microchipped. So anyways, in order to get access to Bill's facility, the FWC allegedly stated they found a reticulated python loose and had to come in and check and see if it was one of Chris Coffey's. Now this, to me, after thinking about it, doesn't make any sense because these animals were microchipped. So if it were one of Chris's, why did they not just scan this animal for its microchip? Maybe you guys can inform me of if this is common practice, but from what I understand, you microchip your dog, you microchip your cat, you microchip your snake apparently, and if they are found on the loose, animal control, or in this case FWC, can scan the chip and find out who the rightful owner is of this animal. So I have some questions as to why there was question as to why, if one of Chris's animals was loose from Bill's facility. The animal that was found over 30 miles away, and it had to have crossed major highways, roads, if it were to get from the facility where it was being housed to get to the point where they found it, which is very unlikely. It just seems like there's a lot of gaps in this story that the FWC has. And hopefully in the lawsuit that USARK Florida has filed, find out the truth. If you look at Tipping the Scales YouTube page, he has a video from a couple days ago about the FWC erasing comments on their Facebook page from people commenting on it. And not necessarily violent comments or anything that would be, called for being deleted. It just seems like they're trying to sweep this thing under the rug. Now there's been some traction in some mainstream news sources. I saw it was reported on Inside Edition, and then down in Florida on the NBC News. The stories they give, though, seem to be somewhat, I won't say heavily favored, but they favor the FWC, to where they say that Chris gave permission to euthanize these animals.
He allowed wildlife officials to come and euthanize almost 3 dozen snakes.
And again, if you watched that nerd video I spoke to you about, I'll link to it here after this video. That's not necessarily the case, it seems like. It seems like he was kind of backed into a corner of, let us euthanize these animals, or you're going to be charged with another crime and go to jail. We can't let them sweep this under the rug. We need to get non-reptile lovers. We need to get this story out to them, to our non-reptile lovers. I think any animal lover, anybody who loves their pet, can relate to what it might be like to have somebody come into your house and slaughter your pets right on your floor and then leave the mess for you to clean up. I mean, again, we all know this wouldn't happen with a cat or a dog because they're more traditional pets, but if you can explain this story and get this story out to our other people other than the reptile community, because it's going to take numbers to keep this thing moving, get traction, and keep it going. If you can do that, and it's going to take the same thing we were talking about before with writing to your senators and writing to the government and officials down in Florida, you have to be professional. You can't threaten violence. You can't mention violence. At the first sight of that, it's going to be dismissed, and it will give the community a bad look. And they will utilize that to potentially publicize bad things about the reptile keeping community in order to sweep this thing under the rug. So we have to keep our wits about us. We have to keep calm, as maddening as this is. But if we truly want to see change, it has to be that way. So you're going to have to do the same thing when you're talking to people who necessarily don't love reptiles. Because if you come in swearing, yelling, screaming with a, unprofessional manner, you may get dismissed by them as well. And it feels good to come in and maybe swear and yell and scream because you're mad. I get it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't win the long game, which is going to be affecting change. In the meantime, there are free memberships in for USARK Florida. If you have not signed up for USARK Florida, please do so. Even if it's just a free membership, if you have some cash to throw their way, I think a bronze membership's probably, I think it was $20. I might be mistaken on that. Sign up for a bronze membership. Give them what you can to help this cause. But at the very least, let's just give them the appearance of numbers of membership. And you can sign up to be a free member right on their website. It costs you nothing. And it takes a few minutes to do. If you guys got any comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching. And as I get more information in the coming weeks, as it comes out, I will continue to do these videos. I didn't initially really care to, but I feel like it's important that we continue to talk about this, that we don't let this just get swept under the rug and allow this to happen to somebody else and somebody else's pets. Kenan, in the coming weeks, it sounds like, is going to do a video with Bill McAdams and potentially Chris Coffey From what he was told, that Chris is pretty depressed and may not want to be on film, which I can fully understand. But that's something else to look out for, to get maybe some more information on this story. But in the meantime, support USARK, support USARK Florida, even if it's free membership. Write your senators, send it to your local news, send it to the national news, send your mail, your emails to Florida's politicians and officials, FWC officials, and let them know we're not going to just let this go. Thanks, guys. Bye.